If you're prepping for the AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam, the SAA-C03, you already know it's basically a golden ticket in the cloud industry today. But actually figuring out how to prepare for it without completely emptying your wallet, yeah, that is a massive headache. So in this explainer, we're going to outline a completely free, highly effective study plan for 2026. We'll be diving into the exact strategies you need, and more importantly, the tools you can leverage to practice real questions without getting hit by those expensive monthly subscriptions. All right, let's get right into it. I want you to ask yourself honestly right now, are you memorizing or are you actually understanding the material? The SAA-C03 exam is brutally scenario-based. This isn't just some simple trivia test where you can memorize a few vocabulary definitions and expect to pass. No way. You're going to be thrown these complex architectural requirements, and you have to pick the absolute optimal solution. Because of that, you literally cannot memorize your way through it. Doing practice questions that give you detailed explanations matters way more for this exam than for almost any other AWS certification out there. Which kind of brings us to the two worst traps people fall into when studying for IT certs. On one hand, you've got your dump sites. These are basically just massive lists of questions with zero explanations attached. When you use those, you're really just memorizing letters, right? You learn that the answer to question 42 is C, but you have no idea why. So the second that scenario slightly changes on the real exam, you fail. On the other hand, you have paywalled platforms. These sites tease you with a few free questions, but right when you're getting into a good groove, boom, they hit you with a hard paywall and demand your credit card. Honestly, neither of these options is actually helping the self-learner. €29. That is the standard monthly subscription fee most competitors are charging right now just to let you practice. Let's do the math on that for a second. If it takes you, say, 6 months to study while you're balancing a full-time job, that's nearly €200 just for access to practice questions. If you're a student or a career changer trying to break into cloud computing, or really just anyone on a budget, that is a massive, incredibly unfair barrier. It's essentially penalizing you for taking the time you actually need to properly prepare. For us, it really boils down to a core philosophy. Studying for an IT certification simply shouldn't cost €29 a month. And that isn't just some catching marketing phrase, it's a fundamental belief. Passing your certification should be all about your dedication, your willingness to put in the hours, and your ability to grasp complex technical concepts, not the size of your bank account. We all need a way to understand exactly why an answer is right, and we need to be able to do that while paying absolutely nothing. We'll enter CertBase. It's an entirely free alternative built by peers specifically designed to solve this exact problem. It gives you this incredibly clean, distraction-free environment that's tailored for technical learning. Dark backgrounds, calm, super technical without being overly flashy. It's a completely independent project built on the firm belief that Cert Prep should be accessible to everyone. There are no premium tiers, no hidden fees, and you don't even have to create an account to start practicing. Okay, so here is your new toolkit to stop memorizing and start understanding. First off, like we said, it is 100% free, forever, zero credit card required. Secondly, and this is absolutely vital for the SAA-C03, there is an AI-generated explanation for every single answer in their bank of over 130,000 questions spanning across 25-plus providers. You add in a dedicated quiz mode, automatic wrong answer tracking, and an active community discussion for every question, and you literally have everything you need to execute your study plan. When you are first tackling AWS architecture, study mode is going to be your absolute best friend. This mode is all about taking your time. You answer a question, and it immediately reveals the correct answer, along with a really detailed written explanation. You're learning the why. So as an example, you don't just learn that the answer is CloudFront, you actually read the reasoning. You understand exactly why CloudFront caches static content at the edge, and why the other 3 options would completely fail in that specific scenario. You just stay in this mode until the logic truly clicks in your head. So how do we actually use this? Here is your tactical 3-step plan to pass the SAA-C03 using this toolkit. Step 1. You browse by provider, select AWS, and find that SAA-C03 exam code. Step 2. Once you feel confident with the core concepts, you pull yourself out of study mode and jump into quiz mode, which fires up a simulated timer. Step 3. Right after your quiz, you aggressively review your weak spots. It's a highly structured, plain language approach to passing. There are no gimmicks here, just focused, high-quality practice. Now, quiz mode is definitely not just some casual test. It's specifically designed to eliminate that awful test day panic. The environment completely mirrors the official exam conditions. You get a fixed set of questions that matches the real exam's exact count, a relentless countdown timer staring you down, and absolutely no explanations while you're taking it. You only get your full breakdown at the very end. If you want to cure those sweaty palms before the real thing, you absolutely have to run these time simulations. And here's where it gets really cool. Once you've finished that simulation, you get this incredibly detailed breakdown. The platform automatically tracks every single question you missed and categorizes it by domain. So let's say you score an awesome 88% in secure architectures, but your cost optimization is sitting at a pretty dismal 38%. The platform flags this for you immediately. All your missed questions are collected in one spot, so you can review only your specific gaps right before exam day. You know exactly where to focus your energy next, instead of blindly restudying stuff you already have down. But even with awesome explanations, some of those scenario questions can just feel incredibly tricky or ambiguous. Well, every single question has its own dedicated discussion thread. Here you can debate the reasoning with a community of other people who are studying for the exact same exam as you. You can bounce ideas around, spot those sneaky little exam traps that AWS absolutely loves to throw in, and upvote the clearest, most logical answer. It's essentially like having a study group of peers right there alongside you, working together to decipher the absolute hardest scenarios. Look, if you're serious about passing the AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam, you have to stop paying for practice tests. And you definitely have to stop memorizing dump sites. You can get full, free practice with real scenario questions right now. Just head over to CertBase.pro. Remember, there is no sign-up required and no credit card gates. Just jump straight in and start mastering it, one scenario at a time. It is, without a doubt, the smartest way to prepare for 2026. Which actually brings us to the single most important question I can leave you with in this explainer. What is your exam date? Seriously, if you don't have one yet, it is time to set a goal. Go check the official AWS page for the current exam fees, book your date, and just commit to the process. You've got the free study plan, you have the platform, now you just have to put in the work. Think about it, commit to a date, and go start practicing. You've got this.